Hi guys, Dumelang ni hao. I'm Loretta Law. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been a long time since I have posted. Child, I've been so busy. I've been ill, I've been busy, but I'm back. And yeah, like I'm ready to just start releasing content. Today, I was listening to Loiso, who was on Idols. His cover, Fetch Your Life by Prince KB and Sia Chandelier. It was wow, it motivated me to just get back at it. And sometimes you really just get demotivated, and yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be consistent and release a lot of content. Anyway, I'm drinking a cocktail that I bought at Blue Frog. Passion fruit mojito, everything, love it. How cool is it that you can get a cocktail as a takeaway? Anyway, guys, so today's topic is my first impressions of China. Like when I arrived here, what were my first thoughts? What was going on in my head? The culture shock. Child, I was not ready. Nothing could have prepared me for that. Nothing, nobody could have prepared me for that. I think anyone and most of the foreigners that are here could really resonate with this. Nothing could have prepared you for the culture shock. So let's get straight into it. So I arrived here in 2019 October, and yeah, so I came here to be an English teacher. So, I did my research on basic things of the actual job, and also the school that I was going to work for. And yes, I did my research. I knew everything in theory, but in actual fact, it was completely different. Like, I knew that I would bump into like culture shocks of like spitting and, stuff that was just like, on the internet, but you don't think it actually still happens. A lot of the things I thought they were very backdated up until I got here, and I realized they are still happening. So yeah, I had a lot of, culture shock, and a lot of my friends also went through the same thing, or the people that I've, met here. We speak about the same thing, and we all just say, oh my gosh, like it's a lot. Of course, there are, great things. There are pros and cons, basically, of going to any other country. But when I got here, the first impression was the spitting. Literally, I can't think of anything else right now, but that was the first thing that really got me in my feels, because I thought it's something that happened back in the days, not now. So firstly, when I arrived here in 2019, I was staying at a hotel in the city center, right? So as soon as I walked into the hotel, the room that I got was right at the door, right at the window. What am I saying? Actually, the window was right at the entrance of the hotel, so I could hear people outside the hotel. And that first night, the first thing I heard was somebody spitting, and I couldn't believe it. I was in shock. I was in complete shock. Wow. Yeah, and the spitting is not gracefully spitting. It's a whole from the core. So the first thing I heard was and I was just like, no, what is happening? I couldn't believe it. I was just like, what is happening? No, this is not it. I thought perhaps that's just one person out of a lot. And I went out that night for some food, and it was continuing, and a lot of people were doing it, especially like the older generations. And that was the first impression that just got me shook. Secondly, I've spoken to my man about this. Like, the second impression was the food. the food and the smell of the oil in the atmosphere. That's what that's the first thing that hit me. I remember before I got here, my friend was already here as in the country, but not the same city, but she was already here a week or two before me, and she texted me saying, friend, like, she's like, no, friend, it's a lot. I can't even swallow my own saliva because, wow, you feel like you can taste the oil in the air. That's what she said. And shout out to my girl Palesa. She was like, friend, the smell really, especially when you like in town, or the street vendors that sell food on the side of the roads, like it hits you. And I couldn't stomach the food for a good 3 weeks. My diet went completely bad because of that. I started eating McDonald's. McDonald's was the only franchise that I was able to stomach. I ate McDonald's 3 months straight, every single day. The delivery guys actually knew me because that was the only thing I was able to stomach. Everything else was just, I couldn't stomach it. My palate was just not accepting it. And even the KFC was very different. So yes, that was the second impression. The third one, which is a very great one, was the crime rate. Like, I remember I was walking around in the streets at about 3 a.m. this one time, the first month, when I was still trying to adjust to the whole place. And first month was really rough. Also because like you broke, the relocation costs, like you really don't think about how expensive or how much money you really need upon arrival. So the first month was a struggle. So I remember the first month, I asked somebody back from SA, hey, please, can you send me this much, right? A friend of mine, and they sent me an whatever amount. And I was walking at about 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. and I kept on looking over my shoulder. Like, it's a habit that I obviously picked up in SA. Like, you always have to be vigilant of where you're walking, of who's around you, and just of your surroundings. And I was always scared. So, I had a sigh of relief after like the second month when I realized, girl, it's not that bad here. It's not that bad. And you barely hear anything about such things in any case. So that was the best thing that happened, or the best impression. The fourth impression was solitude. So when you come here alone, leaving your country, leaving the comfort of your home, the comfort of what you know, who you know, basic things like finding bread at local, at a petrol station, or something as basic as that. So because I came here alone, and like I said, I wasn't fully prepared. I did know that obviously the language is, I know nothing. I knew nothing basically at that time. I kind of still don't, but it was worse. I really struggled with finding basic things, basic food, like finding bread that I could stomach, finding a local store that had milk that I could have, or tea, or something just as basic as that. Or finding your way from point A to point B, finding my way to school using the subway. I was just like, subway, where do I even start without even knowing the language? So that was also quite tough. I really struggled with that a lot, especially the first month. I was always just like getting cabs, because it was as difficult but durable. Like I was able to do it, doable, because I'd ask somebody from my apartment blocks, hey, can you help me order a cab so it could take me from point A to point B? But cabs are expensive. Cabs are expensive, and the subway is quite reasonable, very cheap actually. Like from point A to point B in Shanghai, it's a good 9 Rand or 8 Rand. So listen, a cab could cost me like 200 Rand. And remember, the first month you don't have the racks. So yes, that was a problem. But like I say, there are always pros and cons. The growth that comes from leaving your country, the growth that comes from being in a very uncomfortable place in your life by yourself, it really stretches you. It really, really stretches you, especially with the pandemic that also started. And it really just really started December, November, a month after I had arrived. So that was also another thing that, got me quite, that also stretched me. A lot of growth happened from that also. But like I say, there are always pros and cons. And at the end of the day, my main goal was just to get out of this whole experience as a better person. And one last thing that was also like a bit of a hectic impression was, so when I first got here, I lost my job. The school that brought me to China ceased operation after 3 weeks of me being here. And like I said, I am broke. At the end, it's the 3rd week and they ceased operation. Honey, and this is not something that you can find out from the internet because the information is not readily available. So literally I was at work, busy observing classes and about to start teaching, and it was about to be my first lesson, and all of a sudden the building had to be evacuated. And I didn't even understand how, why, reakai. I just got here. I just got this job. And so the shock with that was that the building has to be evacuated. I get home, cool. They tell me, no, you'll come back tomorrow. Just procedure. It's just the way we do things, right? Parents are complaining about certain teachers, so we don't want them to come and protest here, so please go home. And I'm like, that's not reason enough to shut down a whole school. I got home. Then they send me a text and say, oh, by the way, we ceased operation effectively from now. And then I realized, but I just got here and this was supposed to be my first month and I'm supposed to get paid. Like, what do you mean? So essentially this means 2 months with no pay. Oh my God, in a foreign country. Obviously when thinking about how things are done back home, there's such a long procedure and information is readily available, so that also comes hand in hand with the culture shock. Like how we do things in the workplace is completely different to how they're done here. And I come from a place where labor laws are always on our side, but then again here I'm a foreigner, so it was just quite different to have to deal with the fact that, hey, you've lost your job then and there and that's it. Come get your papers, come get your documents. It's a wrap. Thank you. We love you. And that's it. And I say to my agent, but madam, what do you mean I've lost my job? She's like, don't you have a friend here that could, help you for the next month or so? And I'm like, no, this is not SA. I have no friends. What are you talking about? I have nobody. Whoa. Excuse me. So that was a lot. I was just like, but where am I supposed to get the help? Who is supposed to help me? You're supposed to help me. You guys are supposed to make sure that I have job security. That was not happening, and that's a story for another day, really. But basically the culture shock of also working in different work environments in a different country, that was a lot. But a lot of growth happened from that. I found a new school, thank God, and everything after that was just smooth sailing. Of course the pandemic happened, but my school I was fortunate enough to find a new school that had online teaching, so I never had to go through the same financial struggles that I had the first month. Yes, the first couple of months are quite difficult, but I bounced back, and thank God I found a school that had certain measures in place in terms of online platforms and getting a full salary. Why am I coughing? Am I in my field? Hey guys, So my battery died from the previous video. I couldn't wrap it up properly. I'm so sorry. And I ended up going out, met up with a friend of mine, and yeah, like, the rest is history. So sorry about that. As I was saying, every country has its pros and cons about like whenever upon arrival. So I'm going to have a part 2 that explains or that lists what to expect as an expat in China. So what to expect while living in China. But that was just first impressions, what to expect should you visit, just, you know, just what to expect upon arrival. But there will be a part 2 that gets in depth about what to expect as an expat. Yes, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, guys. Don't forget to share my videos. Like, please help my numbers go up, please. Also, today I'm not drinking a takeaway cocktail. I'm drinking this pink girly. This pink girly is tasty. She's a rose and lychee flavor of beverage. It's the closest thing I could get, the nearest thing I could get to something that reminds me of home. And also, I would love to taste like the B&G cans. I've never had them. So my friends that are in SA, please help a girl out. Send me B&G cans. Amo, come on. Send me B&G cans, guys. I would love to taste them. But for now, all I've got is this girly. These girlies. I'm sure most of the people that stay here would actually recognize this. It's very tasty. Anyway, guys, let me go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, I don't sleep in this. This is just to hide my crusty hair. So, nah, this is just to hide my crusty hair, guys. I don't sleep like this. This, yes, reminds me of home. My mom got me this, when was it? When I was doing my honors. Okay, I'm rambling. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, guys.